Lou Watton, or more affectionately known as the Devils as Watto. I started in 2002 with the Devils, so that was 13 years of footy. Before then, I had a few games at high school. Basically, Hutchie and I went to the same high school, so when I was in year 10, she was in year 12. We had our first game of inter-school footy together. And then she left the school, and basically for year 11 and year 12 I begged the PE teacher to have a footy team, so I was quite passionate about it. So when Jo, my sister, joined the Devils, I think I was in year 12, so Mum didn't let me join, so I hung out until uni times, and that's when I joined.
My name's Dee, aka DCAT, with a K, not a C, and I started in 2002 and I finished playing for the Deakin Devils in 2007.
I'm LG and I played for the Devils for 14 years.
Alright, so I'm Amy Armstrong, formerly Amy Wynn, and I used to get called Winnie on the footy field. And I think I've played for about 12 seasons with a few overseas trips here and there.
I was lucky enough to be named captain in 2005 and really privileged to captain the side till I retired, so 2014, so 10 years all up.
Pretty much friends and family for life, motivation to keep trying, the inspiration that everyone gives at training, and the need to succeed and improve on your own skills to better the team and knowledge of the game. I've put a little something, drive to succeed, the encouragement from your teammates, victory of surviving training, winning and losing, learn from your mistakes, improve, every game is a new game, every drill is a new gain, the love of the sport, who doesn't love playing footy, and strength, the strength to succeed. All of these words equal the Devils.
Footy gave me lots of things. I think if I look back, obviously the friendship, the mateship at the Devils, it taught me how to play football. I was never the most skillful player at all, so I learnt the skills of the game. It gave me a lot of opportunities to excel myself as a person. So that captaincy gave me a lot of experience in leadership. I was also able to, solve problems. I had to solve problems between people or conflict between people and learn how to manage different people with their emotions and their personalities. So I think, I got a lot of opportunities in football, not just on the playing field, but bettering myself as a person as well.
I think the biggest rewards were the friendships that I got out of football. So some people that I met that I've, when I first started and I've been friends with ever since, that I really treasure their friendship. Also, the Devils especially gave me an opportunity to play the sport I loved. There weren't many opportunities back then when I started, certainly not for women. And they gave me somewhere to play football, train, obviously every week. Yeah.
As I said, I was never the most skillful player, but I was always wanting to improve. So the first time I tried out for the state team, I knew I wouldn't get in. I knew I wasn't up to the standard, but I thought it'd be really valuable to go along and see how training went. And it was no surprise when they cut me from the team. I just asked them what I could improve on. So the next year I went back and made it right through to the last session until they said, we've got 26 players still and we can only take 25. So I was really wanted to be a ruck. I was quite young at that stage, and there was another girl there who was quite older, quite experienced as a ruck. Except she broke her hand, so she was coming back from a broken hand. So they actually made us have a ruck off. They couldn't end up deciding who to take, so that was my first opportunity in state football. I was basically the +1, and through there, because I really had to work hard, I earned my spot in the team and was lucky enough to play in the state team, I think, another 5 times. I was also able to play for my beloved Melbourne Demons. I got drafted at number 9 and was absolutely stoked to pull on the red and blue. So that the first game for that was on the MCG. And then the year after, I got retained by the D's and was able to play for them again on Etihad Stadium.
It's going to get nothing. It would be my mates, definitely. My mates at the Devils that I made and have still got.
The crickets. What is there not to love? I was always a swimmer, so it was a bit of a challenge getting on the park, and running wasn't my strength, and it was on school camp. I was on school camp, and the teacher asked me, do you want to play footy? And I hesitated, and the first comment she made was, just come down to training. And right from that word, it was, okay, I'm just going to go and see, and I'm still here. So, I was still a hack after a couple of years. I wasn't the fantasticest footballer, but not once did I ever give up. And that was purely because of the players and the teammates and things like that. So I was always the last one running around, having an asthma attack, and still kept going, even if I couldn't breathe. And having the support of my teammates after they were stuffed, they came and assisted me so I would finish and things like that. So, a close knit there. I hardly ever missed training, so I think I missed about 5 in my career, and that was purely because I just wanted to see everyone.
Well, when I first went down there, it was just this sense that everyone got along, everyone were friends with each other, everyone just wanted to have fun and play football. There was no politics, no drama, everyone was just there for the love of football and having fun. And I think that, kept, that feeling was still there even when I left. And what I love most about them, like I said before, is the people that I met through football and the friendships that I've maintained.
I think from when I first joined the Devils, everyone was extremely friendly. I first came down with a couple of mates, and they played a few games and then kind of went away. But as soon as I joined the Devils, everyone was so welcoming. Person that stands out, Foxy, so welcoming, and right from the start, she, took me under her wing and was pretty good to me, as a couple of other players come to mind as well. And I think that's what always brings me back. There's always football. There's many clubs out there. There's many clubs people can play for, but it's the people and the culture that keep coming back, and it's that friendliness and how people get around you and support you. And that support has been enormous through a number of different occasions that the Devils have helped me through, and even by supporting the Kath Watton Cup. That's something really close to mine and my family's hearts, and the Devils always get behind that. So I think it's a special people here at the Devils that, I'm going to miss playing with them, but I'm always going to come down and be around the club.
The many functions, pre-season, end-season trips, celebrating the highs and lows, but the most memories that will, be with us forever. And it's just, the Devil family. It's it's seeing new and old faces come through, year after year. It's something special that we've got as a club, and also as a family. So it's good.
I think I just always knew I had to work hard. Fitness was something that I liked doing, and I thought that was one of my strengths. And obviously my skill side of things wasn't so good. So I think right through my playing career, I never felt really comfortable. I always knew I had to work hard, and I always knew I had weaknesses. So that kept me hungry for the game, and I guess from an early point to an end point, my attitude towards football didn't change. I always knew I had to work hard because I wasn't that flashy player. I didn't have that awesome kick or those really clean hands. I always had to work hard at it.
Yeah, there's a few for both on and off the field. I think on the field, going back a few years, was probably our first semi-final win in 2003. For the previous 2 years, we'd gotten as far as the finals but lost, and we were playing Darebin at home in a cold, wet, rainy day with hail. It was 100-kilometre winds, and we beat them at their home ground by playing really structured, really disciplined football, and it was just fantastic to finally win a final, especially in those conditions. And then again, when we beat Melbourne Uni for the first time in 2004, I think it was, to beat a side we'd never beaten before, again at their home ground, I don't think we've celebrated harder outside of a premiership. Yeah, that was just fantastic, I think.
I think on field would have to be winning the flag. It was 14 years, a long time to even play in a grand final, my first grand final, and then to win it was just awesome. Off field would probably be, I don't know, I probably don't remember many of them. Probably at the Riser Sunday night or Mad Monday after the Rezzies won the first flag, the club's first flag. That was pretty good. Spastic Sunday, Mad Monday.
Off the field, I think there's too many more forgotten memories, I think, especially Bonnie Doon. I think it was 2003. Something about a pool and a pub and a bear, maybe. Yeah, I don't remember much from that night, except that it was an amazing footy trip. And also my first night at training when I was super excited to finally find a women's football team. I got there late because it was really heavy traffic. Sprinted 2 laps of the oval because I was so keen to warm up. Went inside because for some reason we stretched inside at that stage, and the first person I met was Foxy, and she said, "Hi, I'm Foxy, I run this place." And I think never a truer word was spoken, because even, I don't know, I think it's 15 years later, Foxy's sort of still running the place.
Favourite memories? I've got a few. It's too hard probably to pinpoint one, and I've got a few for different reasons. I think one everyone will expect me to say is the goal I kicked against St Kilda. I always loved that moment. It was 50 metres out. The coach told me to pass it off, and I thought, no way, I'm going to have a ping here. And it just sailed through. I don't know how. And then the funny thing was the coach came up to me at the end of the game and told me I still should have passed it, even though we ended up winning by 3 points. So that's a pretty good memory. Kicking a goal on the G for the Ds, that's a pretty big highlight for me because I don't usually kick many goals. But a couple of really big moments that really stand out for me because of the feelings of those moments. Obviously, the Kath Watton Cup games. The Devils getting behind that scholarship in name of my mum and for those matches and wearing the teal and the way they played all those Kath Watton Cup matches is a really special memory for me, which I'll never forget. And also Watto Week, my retirement week. Wow, I was totally blown away by how everyone in the club really supported me and literally made that week one of the best weeks in my life. And in all the lead up to it, I mean, everyone organised so much for me, you know, the T-shirts, the club rooms were all decorated with posters, the crowd that came down, the banner, and enabling me to kick 4 goals. I think that was my record. You know, it was just such a special moment. And then for it all to be captured on video is, you know, a memory I'll have forever.
So I had a 50-game banner that I'll always remember, which was swimming straight to 50 games. Playing games with 12 to 15 players. I don't know if that's a good memory or not, but at the same time it's one to remember. Doubling up on games. So I've always, you know, most of my playing career I did double up on games. And I wouldn't say this was a good thing, but warning, please do not test this yourself. But getting to the riser in 16 minutes from Mulgrave. And getting tackled by Ski at the riser, forgetting I was still on crutches. And marking my first ball, kicking my first goal. And making bets about who is going to spew first, cry first, and Foxy, we got that one wrong. And at the end of that, this was at the end of season footy trips. There are many more, but it's really hard as I have had so many memories at the Devils over many years. But yeah, that were just a few.
Too many. I remember rocking up most home games with Winnie at about 8 o'clock in the morning to mark the ground or set up the canteen after we'd probably gone to Campbell's Cash and Carry or something to buy all the stock for the canteen. And then you'd get to about 10 o'clock, the resis would roll in, you'd think, shit, we don't have a float for the canteen, and you'd still be there at 6 or 7 at night packing up, and people don't realise that that's what you had to do back then just to get, you know, a home game up and running. It was annoying. But we did it because otherwise we wouldn't have had a club. And I think definitely having numbers makes things easier. Like, I remember playing in resis when I first started. The Mother's Day Massacre, we got done by over 150 points, 14 players, massive ground at Baronia. It was horrible. Every week we'd have 14 players, but we stuck at it, and then the next season we had a full side, so it was good.
Oh, it's changed a lot. Back when I started playing football, it was serious, but the skills definitely weren't as high as they are today. Straight as final siren went, everyone was in the club rooms basically on their first beer. Then you'd be straight off to the pub, and it'd be a huge night every Sunday night. Training was still, we had a big pre-season and that kind of thing, but pre-season camps still involved a bit of alcohol. Whereas these days, I think we've come a long way in terms of making the sport a little bit more professional. And that goes with the youth girls competitions. So we've got these players that are coming through with awesome skills, and that's displayed out on the field these days. So it's not just, one or two people in the team that's a good kick or a good mark. It's 18 to 22 players that are a good kick and a good mark. So, it's building and it's growing, and it's finally getting recognised because we do have some good athletes out there.
It's probably run much more professionally, and I think when I started, I was 19, went down and started playing a new sport, so my skills were pretty rusty, and that was, the girls were coming through older, whereas these days they're coming through, they're playing it in juniors, playing at 14, 15 years old, kick on both feet nowadays, whereas back in my day we were just 1 foot. That'd be the biggest difference, I think. Yeah. And the amount of teams and girls playing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing is there's so many more opportunities. You can go so much further as a female footballer, whether it be the draft in the AFL or the academy or, even just youth girls. There's an opportunity to play as a girl. When I was 12, I wanted to play football, was desperate to play football, but I wasn't allowed to play with the boys, so I had to play netball. And it wasn't until I was 18 that I could play senior football. So I think that's one of the biggest changes. Also, it's just grown. It's gone from being 1 or 2 leagues with maybe, 5 or 6 teams. So I don't know how many leagues there are now and how many teams, but there's so many more women playing, and it's not a freak sport. It's not a novelty. People have heard of women's football before, so I think they're the biggest changes.
I think it's about heart. Yeah, you can improve on your skills by that motivation from that willing to do something. And yeah, I do this all for heart and the love of the game. So, and the love for all my friends. So it's something special I think we've got here. So yeah, it's good.
Heart, definitely heart. That's something you can't teach. You can't teach someone passion, drive, tenacity, all that thing that comes with heart. Skill's easy. You can teach someone skill. And I'd always take a player with heart over skill any day because they're going to give it your all. You know what you're going to get.
I'd say heart. You can be the best player in the world, but if you don't care about it, don't have heart, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. I'd definitely say heart. Yeah. Okay.
Heart for sure. Skills you can learn, you can teach, you can improve on over time, but it's heart that gets you to training on a cold night where you improve your skills. You know, it's heart that makes you get fit in the off season, or take a footy home and kick it around yourself so that you improve. And it's heart that late in the last quarter that makes you, lay that last tackle or that shepherd that might win a game. And it's heart that really, your skills will let you down if you don't have heart. They will fall to pieces when you're tired and you're exhausted and you can't be bothered because you're 10 goals down. But if you've got heart, you won't give up.
I don't think I have any regrets. Obviously, there would have been some things I would have liked to achieve with the team. Obviously, a premiership never got to experience as a player. But looking back, I don't really have any regrets because, every match I played, I always tried to give it my all. And I'd never wanted to walk off the field knowing that I could have done something else, or I didn't give my all. So looking back on my whole career, I think I was quite lucky with what I was able to achieve. And I didn't get a premiership, but I think there is more to football than all the awards and accolades. So no, I don't have any regrets at all.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. I was just completely taken aback and humbled by that honour. I mean, for two reasons. Firstly, to have my name next to Watto, who is out and out the best player the club's ever seen, and really embodies what the Devils are about. Just a true champion through and through. And also to have my name on the medal, awarded to the best and fairest player in the seniors. Hopefully something that'll be around for a long time. Was just something I really, really appreciate, and like I said, completely humbled by.
I was old. No, I got sent to the country for work, so I knew there wasn't girls footy up there, but probably wouldn't have gone and played for someone other than the Devils because it wouldn't have been the same. Mm-hmm. So yeah, gave up 2013.
Any chance coming back?
No. Way too old.
Whatever.
It's been in too good a paddock.
I always thought that my days were numbered coming up, but in the end, I think I had another goal. Towards the end of my footy career, I started doing triathlons and really found a great passion in that, and wanted to try some longer distance type triathlons. And just with the training that comes with triathlons and the brutal aspects of football on my body, I wasn't able to train how I would have liked. And also, I think what made my decision a bit easier was the way my body was feeling after a game. Sometimes not being able to walk till a Wednesday, really sore, and I guess it got me down a bit, not being able to fully train with the team and practice what I preached. I like making sure action does the talking. So yeah, my body breaking down a bit as well, and I think also mentally I was getting a bit fatigued. I was giving it everything I got. So I think I came to the stage where I thought, triathlon's another passion. I really want to give this a go. And I think I'd given the Devils the best that I could have.
Yeah, there were lots of reasons, and I was tossing it up for a really long time. But I think I decided when it was late in the last quarter of the semi-final 2012, which was my last game, when I realised we weren't going to win, we weren't going to make it to a grand final or have a chance at another premiership again. It was 12 years without getting beyond a preliminary final. And I just didn't have the heart to go through it again to come up short, because, obviously winning a premiership is the ultimate success. I'd gained a lot of other things from football, but I really, really wanted that premiership, and I just couldn't go through, travelling 2 hours for training, feeling exhausted after a game, and for most of the week being sore, battling injuries, and, not being able to do a lot of other things because football was very time consuming, when you could see that not everybody in that 22 was as committed. And I just knew that unless that whole 22 was committed, we were never going to achieve the ultimate success. And I just didn't have the heart to go through it again. That, and I was getting married and hoping to get pregnant. Yep. So that'd also make it hard.
Okay, so round 3 on the 20th of May 2007. I picked up a carload of people and our passports and drove to St Albans, and it pretty much changed from there. The second quarter, I was in the forward line, and two people were either side of me, and went up for a mark, and the ball spilled. I went down to get it. The girls pretty much fell on top of me, tackled me, and eventuated in me breaking my ankle. It sounded like bubble wrap, and so I sort of, didn't take anything. I took it all in my stride and refused to get stretched off, and as I do, I then hopped over to the boundary line, and someone came running with crutches for me, and I didn't get very far. And then the halftime siren went, and all of these devils, and I still remember, running towards me and saying, "You're getting on this stretcher." So unfortunately they got me on that stretcher and they carried me over to the change room. So I was in the back pocket at St Albans, so it was a fair hike, and 8 years later I'm sort of still injured, but at the same time you have to just push on. So it wasn't my choice to retire, but at the same time it obviously was the time for me. So
yeah, if I could have maintained my triathlon training with the football and my body felt fresh, I would have made the decision a lot harder. I would have liked to have kept going, but it's also, as I said, that mental aspect as well. Giving it everything I got. I think sometimes, it's your mental aspect that drives your physical body. So you got to have that as well.
Yeah, I miss hitting stuff. Yeah, I do. I'm way more cranky now because I don't get to hit things every Sunday. No, I would definitely keep playing. Yep. Long time retired.
Yep.
To be honest, when I was 21, I was unfit and fat. I think I prefer my body at 29 because it took me about 12 years to get fit enough to feel better playing football. Having said that, if I was 29, still felt like I was 29, I'd want to recover like a 21-year-old, because even though I was fitter, it still took most of a week to recover. Yeah, if I felt like that, I lived closer, perhaps didn't have a few other things that occupied my time at the moment, there might be potential that I'd come back. But at this stage, it's not just the old body that's stopping me from playing.
Definitely. I always look back at 2007. I look back at who plays now and think I would love to play with the bunch of girls over the past 8 years that have come through our club. I was captain for the reserves in 2007, and I could say I was in my prime as well. After being a hack for so many years, I eventually sort of worked hard to, try and focus on some of the things that I worked so hard for. I always wonder what type of footballer I would have been as well. And when a player is down on themselves, I want to tap them out on the field. If they kicked a goal, I'd love to go and celebrate with them out on the track, or just knock some sense into them, as well. So sometimes they just need that little bit of, motivation and so on. So, I would have loved to have played more games with people like Foxy, Watto, LG, Begsy, and the many new players that have come through, as I said, in the past 8 years.
To be honest, I think it took 12... In my last season, I realised how to read the play and become a smarter footballer and not do a lot of, ineffectual, if that's a word, running. Sort of work out where the play is going. So I wish I could teach that to myself in my first year, because it really helped. Also, football is much more fun when you're fit and not carrying an extra 10 kilos. And chartreuse is never a good idea.
Always give everything a go and don't let fear hold you back. There's always opportunities out there, but there's always that little voice in your head that is scared of stuffing up or scared of failing. But at the end of the day, if you don't give something a go, you're never going to know. So you may as well put yourself on the line. Yeah, you might be embarrassed or red-faced, but who cares? You never know where you can get to.
Probably that you're a long time retired. Once you finish, you're finished. But then, thinking about it, sitting here, I'd probably just say to myself, if I could go back, just hang on for the awesome ride that you're going to be a part of. Mm-hmm. Don't underestimate what the Devils are going to give you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Give ya. Sound any more country?
I think just that a football club doesn't just happen. It takes hard work and people behind the scenes, week in, week out, to ensure that you've got a ground to play on. But it takes more than just a handful of people. It needs everybody involved to be a successful club on and off the field. If you want water on game day, bring a volunteer. If you want social events, go on the committee. If you want new footies and new uniforms and tape for your ankles, then sell your raffle tickets, because without everyone's support, the club just doesn't happen. And just appreciate that you've got a fantastic facility with club rooms and a canteen and a canteen lady, somewhere to have a drink after a game, a full uniform and new footies, because there were times, since the Devils started, that we didn't have those things. So I think just really appreciate what you've got now, but work hard to maintain it and enjoy your football.
Definitely give everything a try. I know it's easier said than done not to be scared, but you never know when your day's going to come that you can't play football. You can't always count that there's going to be week after week after week after week. So
if you're hesitating about playing footy, don't. Just I suppose do what I do, come down and have a look. You get the vibe straight away. No matter what's new, what's old, whatever, you do get that vibe. And I got the vibe straight away that it was just cool, so fun, and I gave it a go. I wasn't a footballer. I probably never touched grass, before type thing in anything like that. So, ask yourself, what is your goal? Why do you want to play footy? What is it that you want to improve? What frustrates you? Go out and seek. Ask people. Ask the experienced players. Ask your coach. The hard work comes from you. The rest falls in place to make the team succeed. Winning isn't everything, but the positives and the drive will get you there eventually. And I'm someone who always comes last, but the support of the Devils make me that little bit stronger and the want to succeed. And just to sum up the Devils, is I don't care, I love it.